Are you and your partner trying to get pregnant? We have 12 lifestyle hacks that we want to share with you to boost your fertility naturally. Whether you have just gotten started trying to get pregnant or you've been at it for a while, these tips will help you both.
Welcome back. I'm Steven and this is JK. Between the two of us, we have over 25 years of experience practicing family medicine. We've been childbirth educators for the last decade, and these 12 hacks we used and we found them super helpful. So let's jump in. One of the most underestimated factors when it comes to fertility is stress.
So true.
Right. It's like stress can really affect your hormone levels. It can definitely affect testosterone, can definitely affect whether you ovulate. So all the cortisol levels when you're stressed can really just make things go awry when it comes to fertility.
It can wreak havoc on our bodies.
Yeah. So hack number one is reducing that stress. We know we can't get rid of stress completely, so it's really about figuring out ways to manage it, right?
Yeah.
So things like mindfulness practices, meditation, journaling, really spending time each night before bed even, writing down things that you're grateful for the day. Those things can really be helpful, as well as things like yoga, breathing, light stretching, going on walks in nature. All those things can be really helpful to just manage the stress that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Second thing that we would definitely say is
hack number two,
to make sure you have quality sleep.
Yeah.
Because our sleep is so important for us to just to be able to recover from the day. All of the reproductive cells turning over, making sure that we are having good hormone levels and the cell recovery that's needed for us to be able to have good quality eggs and good sperm.
Yeah.
The goal for quality sleep is to have between 7 and 9 hours.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people, they burn the candle at both ends, right? But really trying to have a sleep routine where you're getting enough hours.
Yeah, and some tips that can be really helpful for winding down at night, like, sitting down, creating a space to kind of relax, drinking some kind of chamomile tea or those type of things can be really helpful to just get to a better state before going to bed and helping you get better sleep.
Also trying to stay away from your phones or any screens at least 2 hours before you're going to go to bed, because that blue light, it is very stimulating.
Yeah.
And so if you have your phone and you're scrolling, it's really hard to go to sleep after that.
Yeah. And if you've got lights that can be turned down, really mimicking kind of like candlelight almost, and having that light source coming from below your eye level or at your eye level can be really helpful to just get your circadian rhythm.
What do you mean about the light level?
Yeah, so when there's overhead light, it kind of mimics the sunlight. And if it's really bright light, that can actually affect your body's ability to wind down, and it can affect the melatonin release.
Interesting.
So there's studies that show that at nighttime, if you really kind of make your house look like a cave that has candle lights in it, with lights that are lamps that you use instead of ceiling lights, and especially using things that are on the softer spectrum of yellow rather than white or blue, those things can be helpful.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so having the light below your eye level. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Hack number 3 is couples spending quality time together. Quality time is huge when it comes to reducing stress. Doing things that are fun together, planning date nights, really making it a point to sit together, talk together, sharing what you're going through with your partner. Having that quality time goes such a long way in reducing stress.
And I remember when we were going through our journey, and it was really nice to know that we could lean on each other.
Yeah.
And so even going on our dates, we would take a lot of hikes, you remember?
Yeah,
and
so beautiful.
We did a lot of just active stuff.
Yeah, like playing basketball together at 24.
24-hour fitness, yeah.
Yep. Going to dance classes, like hip hop dance classes.
Yeah, we did a lot of hip hop classes.
Trying to struggle to learn the choreo.
But it was fun though, because those were the things that really helped us get through each day, because it's like you're doing so much work to try to keep yourself healthy and having some outlet, and especially if you have a partner to be able to do that with, it just keeps it light and fun, and you don't feel so much pressure.
Totally, yeah. And the date nights, you don't have to go out for date nights, right? You can totally spend a great night indoors
watch
together.
A movie,
cuddling
eat a
on
good
the couch. We know how challenging the fertility journey is, so it's really great that we've got the video about persevering through fertility journeys.
Yes. Yes. So that will be a future video that folks can check out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely trying to make sure that you have that quality time. Lowering stress overall is super helpful. The next hack we're going to talk about is smoking.
Yeah.
And most people know it's not good to smoke, right? But specifically, smoking does, as we know, decrease sperm count. It definitely changes just sperm health. It changes the motility, how they move, and also the shape of the sperm.
Yeah.
So a lot of abnormal sperm can develop if you are a smoker. And that includes vaping, that includes smoking weed. All of those different types of smoking can impact your sperm health. And then of course for women, you know, it decreases egg quality.
Yeah.
So if you are smoking, that's something that you just gotta cut out.
Yeah, and it can actually make women lose their eggs faster.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if your ovarian reserve decreases, you don't even have enough eggs to be able to supply for pregnancy.
Yeah. So definitely good to quit smoking.
Quit smoking. Quit smoking. It's so important. Yeah.
Hack number 5 is to really limit or even stop alcohol use, right? So like smoking, a lot of people know, man, drinking, especially drinking excessively, is not good for your health.
Yeah.
So specifically when it comes to fertility, it can really mess with ovulation for women. It can decrease sperm count and quality for men. And so it's really good, if you can, to just decrease or completely abstain from alcohol when you are trying to conceive.
Yeah, and I feel like if you have it in your mind that you want to get pregnant, I mean, try to cut that out at least 6 months ahead of time if you can, because it's just not even worth it to have that problem. You know, alcohol we can cut out.
Yeah.
Same thing with caffeine, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize though, high caffeine, especially the studies, they show if you have like 300 milligrams every day, that can actually delay your chance to get pregnant, so make it a longer process, and it can also lead to miscarriage.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty huge. So the studies say to have less than 200 milligrams, that's about a 12-ounce coffee.
Wow, so 300 milligrams or more, it can actually lead to a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Not many people know about that.
No, so and you know, think about how many cups of coffee some people consume in a day, right?
Just Starbucks all day.
Right. So it's important to just cut down the caffeine. And that's not only in coffee. You got to think about caffeine that's coming from other sources too.
Energy drinks,
Soda,
tea,
even chocolate. I mean, you would have to have a lot of chocolate, but it has caffeine in it.
There's chocolate fiends out
Yeah,
there.
you know what I mean? So 300 milligrams is too much.
Yeah.
It has to be less than 200 a day.
Yeah. Okay, man. Hack number 7, antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc. Those things super important when it comes to overall health, but also very important when it comes to fertility as well. For eggs, for sperm. Vitamin C, really great sources, citrus, berries, leafy vegetables, you know, the things you would think about that are healthy for you. So zinc, like good sources of zinc are nuts, right? So like almonds, cashews, walnuts, those things. So I remember when we were first trying to conceive, man, I was like just eating everything I could. We've done research about what can boost sperm count, and I was like eating walnuts.
Yeah, you did.
Eating
cashews,
eating avocado like every day. Having oysters more, just
you love oysters though, so that was easy.
Yeah, but like anything that could really boost sperm count was all into. So
also healthy fats, that's the next lifestyle hack. So healthy fats is super important because especially our hormones, they usually are carried through those different types of cells. So being able to have like lots of omega-3 fatty acids, avocado like you said, good fish, good nuts, those things are going to be really helpful just overall.
So hack number 9 is to really limit or totally eliminate processed foods. So processed foods are things that come out of a package or out of a can. They're usually found in the middle of the grocery store and all the aisles. So processed foods does the exact opposite as healthy fats do. It can actually dysregulate your hormones and really cause havoc.
The trans fats is one of them. So a lot of those processed foods can be filled with trans fats, which is definitely something we don't want to be consuming. So staying away from trans fats is huge.
Yeah, processed foods in general. But what you want to eat instead is whole foods, right? So things that look the way when you take them off the tree or out of the ground or off the bush. You want to stick with whole grains. You really want to stick with things that are whole and not processed.
All right, lifestyle hack number 10 is limiting or trying to eliminate sugar.
Oh man.
This is a hard one, especially for me.
Yeah, you are definitely a sugar baby.
Yeah, sugar, yeah, definitely. I have a sweet tooth, but I mean, sugar, because of how much harm it does to our just hormones in general. I mean, sugar is what causes insulin resistance in our bodies.
Yeah.
And so if you have high levels of sugar, you're going to have high spikes throughout the day with your insulin not being able to supply enough, just oomph to get your blood sugar down. And that can lead you to risk of prediabetes and then diabetes. So making sure that you're staying away from like sugary drinks. A lot of the processed foods are filled with sugar. And then in general, sweets. Like if you have a sweet tooth like me, you like candy, cakes, even bread, rice. I mean, all of that stuff converts to sugar. Yeah. So it's really important to look at how much sugar you're consuming, being able to stay at a healthy amount. And when I was going through my journey, I really had a limit of like trying to get 26 grams. That was the recommendation at the time. The American Heart Association says for women, it's about 25 grams of sugar that they should limit to each day. And then for men, it's about 35. So, I mean, it's hard to do, but if you limit your sugar, it's going to help so much. And this is something that I struggled through a lot. So I talk a lot about it in my series about PCOS. So for anybody that is dealing with having issues like limiting sugar, you can check out those videos because I have lots of information there.
Yeah, that's great. And that takes us to lifestyle hack number 11. Moderate exercise, really important for reproductive health, really important for maintaining a healthy weight, really important for just general health, right? So moderate exercise is really based off of your effort level, right? So if you are huffing and puffing, your heart is beating out of your chest, that's strenuous exercise, right? So moderate exercise is where you're working a little bit hard, probably having a little hard time carrying on a conversation like we are right now. You want to be huffing and puffing a little bit, but not so much where you're like, I got to stop.
Right.
Because you want to be able to do moderate exercise 20, 30 minutes most days of the week. So for some people, it could just be, like, especially if you're sedentary right now, a moderate exercise program could be going for walks for 20 to 30 minutes most days of the week.
Which is the perfect exercise, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's the best.
Walking is fantastic, especially if people are really sedentary. And sedentary lifestyles, by the way, just so bad in general for your health. Really decreases blood flow. It can really mess with your hormone levels. It definitely leads to more weight gain. So in general, really getting more physical activity is great.
And sedentary, you mean just kind of sitting on the couch or
couch
not
potatoes,
really doing any
sitting
activity.
At a desk at work all day.
Right.
Yeah,
that's sedentary.
That's sedentary for sure. So like moderate activity, going for walks, it could be just doing some light resistance training, so lifting really light weights and starting that, doing that a couple times a week. It could be stretching, could be yoga. All of those things can count towards moderate. Yeah, swimming is fantastic too. But it's based on effort level. So if you're someone who's already physically active,
if you're a CrossFitter,
if you're a CrossFitter and it could be moderate exercise for you.
Or a bodybuilder.
It could be moderate exercise for you to kind of work out a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But it all depends on your effort level and what moderate is.
And kind of what your health status is before you try to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because if you're somebody who's already super active, we don't want you to cut down your activity.
Yeah.
But it's really if you're starting out from square one.
Yeah.
So then the next thing I would say, as far as like a lifestyle hack, it would be definitely strengthening your core and your flexibility.
Yeah.
These two things are super important. I know for me, anytime I was fit as far as having a strong core and just having the stamina, flexibility, when I did finally get pregnant, it made the pregnancy so much smoother. I had less aches and pains. And then my birth process, everything went a lot more efficiently because you have better posture. Your body is in a better fitness to be able to get through labor.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And with a stronger core, it really will help not only the posture, but just like the comfort. Like you're carrying a baby inside of you, and that's a heavy thing to walk around all day. So if you got a strong back, if you got a strong core, it's going to make pregnancy so much easier. And at the end of it, when you already are pretty strong to begin with, after the baby comes, it really is going to help in the recovery process.
Oh yeah, I saw that every time too. I mean, when we talk about like women trying to snack back, you start that snapback before, like when you are not even pregnant yet. So if you can get yourself fit and just feel strong, it will be so much easier for you to get back to your pre-pregnancy weight later.
Yeah.
And one thing I remember is when I forget which pregnancy it was, but
I think it was after the third.
It was the third pregnancy. I was kind of slacking with prepping beforehand,
Yeah.
getting back to my fitness level, and that postpartum period was so difficult. I remember when I went to the grocery store,
Yeah.
and I couldn't even push the grocery cart over the speed bump. You know, just the regular speed bump on the road. I could not physically push it over because I had such a weak core.
Yeah.
And that's something that I could have easily prevented had I just put more effort into getting it strong before I got pregnant again.
Yeah.
So it's super important if you can work on core flexibility beforehand.
Yeah, specifically for women. For
Specific-
guys,
yeah.
it's great for guys to be flexible and have good core strength, and that probably will come into like the baby making process.
It definitely will, but also just like taking care of mom and baby after.
Oh, for sure.
You gotta have a strong core to do everything.
Yeah. So that reminds me, like, women, they go through pregnancy, they carry this baby for 10 months.
Right.
The least that a guy can do is make sure that their sperm is like the highest quality possible, right? So like before you guys are even trying to conceive, guys need to do their best to really take heart these lifestyle recommendations and make sure that they're doing everything they can before conception to make sure they're healthy and that their sperm are going to be the best quality possible.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, especially for family planning, wanting to build a family, it takes two, like in every way.
Yeah.
So if you guys can together make sure that you have the best sperm, best eggs, I mean, it's just going to help overall. You're going to find that you have better outcomes.
Totally. Yeah,
the process is a lot smoother. I mean,
and not to mention like epigenetics, right? So the study of finding out that things that you do before you're pregnant and the sperm and the DNA in that sperm and the eggs and the DNA in the eggs, when they come together, it can actually impact the health of that child.
And generations forward.
Yeah, totally.
It's crazy.
The healthier that you are when conception happens and when that sperm or egg meet, the better off that kid's going to be and their kids are going to be in the future.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an amazing thing.
So every decision counts.
Yeah.
That's really the point. So with the things that you struggle with, you just have to really make a plan and try your best to, obviously we can't be perfect, but with all of these different lifestyle hacks, just take baby steps to get better. So that like by the time you guys do get pregnant, you had the best possibility. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe to our channel where you can find more tips on fertility, also pregnancy and childbirth. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments, or if you have other tips that have worked, drop it in the comments so we can check that out too. Don't forget to check out our website, ourbirthroom.com, where you can find tons of resources. And if you have become pregnant, we have an amazing comprehensive childbirth course that we'd love to work through with you. We'll see you guys in the next video.